After years of anxious anticipation, Konami finally graced us with something we've all been asking for. With the release of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, almost all of Solid Snake's original adventures are available in one curated set of games to be discovered by a new generation of gamers, or rediscovered by those of us who were around for the original releases.
But this collection seems to be missing a few things. Make that several things.
Now, as a self-professed Metal Gear front row seat fan, I was prepared to bask in the glory of these titles that represented many of my fondest PS1 and PS2 era memories. And I was fully prepared to accept there would be a few titles missing, such as Metal Gear Solid 4. And I was also okay with the lack of overall polish, because these aren't being remastered or even graphically cleaned up. For better or for worse, these would look and play just like I remember them. What I wasn't prepared for was the multiple shortcuts that the developer would take, resulting in the delivery of an incomplete experience with the promises of future resolutions being provided by upcoming patches. I don't know about you, but after waiting a couple of decades for this collection to exist, I would have been okay with waiting a few more weeks for it to actually be, completely solid.
Has it fixed yet? Since
Some.
Since then and now.
Not all.
Well, some of these issues, such as the issues with slowdown during the cutscenes or the subtitles not matching up quite right, were clearly unintentional and should be able to be remedied quickly. Some were quite intentional, such as the decision to make the majority of the games in the Nintendo Switch collection a download.
Meaning that the main reasons most of us are purchasing this set, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, aren't even physically included on the cartridge and have to be downloaded to a separate storage device, purchased separately, of course.
Of course, because why not? While those of us who have the space available on a current memory device will see this as more of an annoyance than a true inconvenience, the reality is that this Master Collection is intentionally incomplete. Not because we are missing some of the titles that will likely show up in a future Master Collection Volume 2, but because this set was delivered without even completing what was promised.
Konami appears to have exploited the goodwill of die-hard fans, like me, knowingly releasing an unfinished collection of titles that weren't even updated or enhanced, all while guaranteeing they'd fix the issues after launch. While most games these days are released with the expectation of a day one patch to remedy unexpected issues, those are typically new games, not simple re-releases of something that was already made years ago.
For Konami to release this set of old titles in such an incomplete fashion reflects a serious assumption on their part, one that we all face the temptation to demonstrate as well.
And I'm certainly guilty of making the same arrogant assumption in my life, thinking I have plenty of time to address incomplete personal commitments or fulfilling promises that I've made at some point in the nebulous future, a future that isn't mine to command. Sure, I'm fiercely aware of my increasing age and the reality that each day behind me is one that I'll never get back, but I still fall victim to the prideful thought that my future self will eventually clean up some of the messes that I'm choosing not to resolve today. This is more than mere procrastination. It is the misplaced confidence that I have time to finish things in a tomorrow that isn't promised to me, offering the equivalent of a mostly empty cartridge that presumes upon a more convenient time that may never come.
The Bible has much to say about this misplaced confidence that masquerades as faith in the Lord, and at its core it has one name: pride.
James never minces words in his epistle, stating in no uncertain terms that it is arrogance that leads us to presume upon the future and assume that we have any control over what tomorrow holds. But the interesting context of this moderately well-known chunk of scripture is in its closing point when he says, "Therefore, to him who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is sin." The word therefore means it's building on the previous statement, not a separate unrelated thought. So for years, I took these two ideas as two unique and independent thoughts, but when brought together the way they were intended, an amazing truth jumps out at me, and it slaps me across the face. James isn't merely telling us not to take tomorrow for granted, or instructing us to place the Lord's will at the center of our planning, even though both of those are true.
When taken as a complete thought, he is warning us not to wait until the future to do the good things we know we are supposed to do.
And putting off those good things that the Lord has guided us to do is a sin that has its roots in arrogance. As someone who's grappled with this temptation throughout my life, that wasn't a fun sentence to say or record. But as always, the answers are not far away. Over the years, like Konami and their incomplete Metal Gear Solid collection, I have made an unhealthy habit of presuming on the future, a prideful decision that has revealed itself in very basic ways in my day-to-day life. I promise friends and loved ones that I will call or visit, but I never get around to it. You know
No,
that.
he doesn't.
And in many instances, those options, they may no longer be present in my life. Some of those people may not be here anymore. I tell myself I'll make up my lack of presence to my family in the future because of pressing matters in the present. But as my little ones grow up, I can never get these moments back. Or I make commitments in my relationship with my service to the Lord. But I keep pushing those promises down the road as I offer an incomplete version of what I promised, arrogantly thinking I can simply place him on the back burner when it suits me and make him a priority at a more convenient time. The parasite of pride finds a way to infect even my most well-meaning intentions with the misguided view that I can push any of the most important things into a tomorrow that only the Lord controls.
There will always be more things to do than we have time in the day, and the accomplishment of even our God-given dreams will always involve the temptation to take unauthorized shortcuts to make presumptuous decisions.
There will always be distractions in our path that can cause misplaced priorities or enable confusion on what the best things for us to do at the time truly are. And the human tendency to say, I will get around to fulfilling these important commitments once I get through this week, this month, this season, this school year, this promotion, this project may seem innocent, but it actually reveals the same arrogance at the heart of James 4, the mistaken view that tomorrow is guaranteed for any of us, that the Lord's will is going to wait around for us, or that our friends and family will always be there later.
And in the words of Christ when addressing the actions of Mary, the sister of Lazarus, he provided some critical clarity that should illuminate the path we can walk to avoid falling prey to these presumptuously prideful thoughts masquerading as simple procrastination.
In both Luke 10 and John 12, we see Mary's priorities placed firmly in her loving service to the Lord as her North Star. By keeping her eyes firmly and lovingly fixed on Christ, all these other things would find their proper place, time, and season. He didn't say that those other pursuits lacked value or were unnecessary. He simply honored that Mary's heart was on the best things, and that priority ensured that she was fully present for the good part.
It is the presence of the Creator placed firmly at the center of our thoughts and all that we do that prevents pride from sneaking in and making promises we don't have the power to keep.
Konami released their master collection of Metal Gear games, but something was missing. The very mastermind behind the series, Hideo Kojima. The absence of the creator due to the very public falling out between Konami and Kojima meant he had nothing to do with this release. And without the creator at the heart of their project, it all fell apart. Now, I can't speak to their intentions, but in retrospect, I think we can all agree that one of the greatest franchises in gaming history deserved far better treatment than this. And as Konami scrambles to complete their product on that indefinite date of a future tomorrow, the truth about our future and how we should view it becomes crystal clear.
While the Lord may see fit to grace us with many tomorrows, it is the height of human arrogance to expect to see any of them to make plans to do for God tomorrow what we should be doing today.
So let's look at today as the unearned gift that it truly is and place His will at the center of all of our choices to show His forgiveness today to those we thought we had plenty of time to forgive, to spend time with those that we promised to visit while they're still here for us to see them.
To complete those missions for the Lord that we keep pushing off for a more opportune time before the time runs out.
To give our God, our spouse, our children, our family, and our friends the 100% that we keep promising but can't seem to find the time for.
There are certainly different seasons in our lives. There is a time to sow in the present by investing in the future, and a time to reap what we previously sowed so we can truly live in the present.
But it is the Lord who sets and defines each of these seasons, and only He knows how many cycles around the sun that each of us will have, and only a life that's lived in full submission to the Creator as the head of the project will guide us into making the daily decisions that are solid enough to stand the test